It seems like the update we've all been waiting for may be arriving in Halo Infinite as soon as next week. And 343 have just released a Waypoint article explaining all of the stuff that we can expect. So without wasting any more of your time, let's jump straight in. A major new update is arriving in Halo Infinite as of March 19th, which is next week. 4 days from now to be exact. And the first of its major new additions is the network overhaul. Now we have already seen a bit of a glimpse of this networking overhaul in both Firefight King of the Hill and in squad battles temporarily. But it seems like 343 are moving forward and completely overhauling the current networking model to make it more akin to what we've experienced in those, which should massively improve on stability, reduce lag, reduce desync, and overall make the game a much better experience. Alongside that, the anti-cheat for the game is also completely changing, as instead of the one that 343 I believe had built for the game themselves, we are getting easy anti-cheat that will arrive in Halo Infinite. And of course, easy anti-cheat is used for a ton of other games. The biggest example that I can bring to mind right now is of course Master Chief Collection, and although cheating is still obviously a problem in that game, hopefully this will help a cheating problem that is clearly persistent within Halo Infinite. This update is also bringing some other exciting things like the squad battle map refresh, which is bringing a grand total of 7 new maps. Well, technically 5. Squad Battle is of course the 8v8 mode that is more akin to classic big team battle, fitting nicely between the typical 4v4 and 12v12. The new maps include Perdition, Refuge, which to be fair isn't entirely new as it is currently in BTB as well, Timberland Evolved, which is a remake of Timberland from Combat Evolved on PC, Rendezvous, Gaia, Harvest, and Behemoth, interestingly enough. Very curious to see how that's going to work in 8v8. I haven't really played much squad battle in a while, so I'm looking forward to jumping back into that mode when this playlist refresh drops. And having more new maps is never a bad thing in my book. But quite possibly the biggest talking point of this update is the new weapon tuning update. Multiple weapons are getting new balance updates, which I think is great, and something I myself and many other players have been advocating for a long time. First of all, the Bandit and Bandit Evo are getting an increased reload speed time, being increased by roughly 10% to address common feedback that reloading feels too slow and clunky. The Heatwave is also getting some changes. It'll get decreased aim assist fall off range, decreased aim assist range, and decreased aim assist angle. This will essentially make the gun harder to use at longer ranges since it does fit more of a shotgun type role anyway. So if you are planning on hitting some longer range shots, it will take a little more skill. The plasma pistol is also getting some appreciated changes. It's getting a slightly decreased rate of fire for single shots and a faster overheat, which these nerfs are unfortunate, but paired up with its faster charge up time, honestly pretty excited for this. I know a lot of people are probably going to mention that they want the plasma pistol to have its EMP back, and although yes, I agree, at least its faster charge up time will potentially make the weapon a bit more viable. The Stalker Rifle is receiving some nerfs, getting a decrease to the number of shots before it overheats and a slower venting time. This is because of feedback within the community that the Stalker Rifle was overperforming. Now the biggest one for me is the buffs that the Commando is getting. Hopefully it will finally make this gun feel much more useful. It's getting increased close range friction and less aggressive bloom. Of course, a lot of players have been advocating for some Commando changes for a very long time, and hopefully this will make it a more worthy competitor to the Battle Rifle and Bandit Rifle. And finally, it appears that the Gravity Hammer is also getting some changes. They are fixing the issue that seemed to massively buff the Gravity Hammer in Season 5, but they're not taking it back to how it was before then, and it is still getting its original tuning increased by 1.5 times, allowing better damage and knockback. So the Gravity Hammer will still be stronger than it was originally, which I think is great, but it won't be as overpowered as it is currently felt in the past couple of months. As happy as I am about these sandbox changes, I recorded an entire weapon video tier list, which will now be obsolete in the next couple of days. They're also implementing Firefight Custom. This is Firefight King of the Hill without the hill element. Now, to my understanding, this isn't a mode for matchmaking, but rather a feature of Forge, so that forgers can create more exciting projects and potentially be able to create their own campaign levels, which I know a lot of people have already done, but it really just increases the potential that is there. And who knows, maybe if this performs well, it's something they will consider implementing into matchmaking in some capacity. Either way, more stuff for forgers is always great, as it just provides players with much more content to enjoy. And other than that, it seems like there's a few quality of life improvements that will improve the stability of the game and some stuff for Forge 2. The Forge fix will improve copy protection, meaning that players can't steal other maps, which has become an increasingly common problem. I've got to say, I am pretty excited for this update, especially for the balance changes and the squad battle maps, but as a whole, I am a little disappointed that there is no update on any of the vehicles. I think the vehicle sandbox right now is severely lackluster, and a lot of the vehicles just don't feel very fun to use. And it would also be nice if some of the campaign weapon variants could see some adjustments, especially something like the Ravager Rebound, which beforehand I wouldn't have cared about this, like, a while ago, since they were just for the campaign, but with modes like Super Husky Raid and Super Fiesta being staples of matchmaking at this point, I do feel like maybe some of those campaign weapon variants should be looked into. But regardless, it is nice to receive an update that is more than just customization and a couple of extra Forge maps. Anyway, curious to hear what you all have to say about this down in the comments. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.